What up guys, Super Metal 983 here bringing you another CD review, and this is another 2016 release that I really urge you to check out. If you're into groovy metalcore, then this is definitely for you. So yeah, let's get on with it. This is what I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Yep, this is the new album from the band Upon a Burning Body, entitled Straight from the Barrio. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is released under Sumerian Records. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Upon a Burning Body, they are a Texas-based metalcore band who are one of the big, iconic metalcore bands under Sumerian Records, along with Ask Alexandria, After the Burial, amongst others. But Upon a Burning Body, they have a total of 4 full-length albums out. Their debut album, which is really, really good in my opinion, really heavy, probably the heaviest release they've done to date, in my opinion, but it's still a great album. Then you got this, the title escapes me, by the way, because I can't remember. And then you got their second full-length album, which is called Red, White, Green, which I own on CD. In all honesty, that album, it's good. It's just not amazing to me. I don't want to see the hype over it, in all honesty, but it's got some good songs on, don't get us wrong, but yeah, not massive fan of it. But anyway. And then you got their third album, which is called The World Is My Enemy Now. Now that album had obviously a lot of controversy with the like publicity stunt thing that they'd done before the album was even released or announced, which in some ways it did work for them. It got them quite a bit of exposure, got people hyped up about the album and talking about it, and that was the game plan, I guess. So it is what it is. But yeah, but that album in itself was a really, really good album. It had some really class riffage. It was a big, massive step up from Red, White, Green, in my opinion. But yeah, I'd have to say that one was my favourite album. Was is the big clue there. And then we get to 2016 with the arrival of Straight from the Barrio. Now, this album, in all honesty, I kind of overlooked a little bit and kind of like pushed to one side kind of on purpose, because in all honesty I thought the album cover was, in all honesty, a bit pop at first. Like, I don't know, just the graffiti thing, it just didn't click with me. But the colours, it's kind of eye-catching now, and I kind of like it, in all honesty. But anyway, yeah, so I kind of overlooked it and stuff, and then I thought, you know what, I might be just judging it far too much. Like, I was kind of judging the last album with the publicity stunt, because I didn't really agree with it, because I don't think publicity stunts are really that cool. But anyway, and then that one turned into one of my favourite albums. My favourite album of Upon a Burning Body. Now, this one's kind of along the same sort of lines, because it's become my favourite album of Upon a Burning Body, but I don't know why, because I just had some very low expectations for it. I don't know why. I mean, the first single that they dropped, which was the first one, called what's it called? Till Break of Dawn, I think it's called. I don't know, that track, I thought it was alright at first. It was definitely a grower for me, and I started listening to it a bit more, and it started to grow, but I don't know, it kind of reminded us of Texas Blood Money from Red, White, Green. I don't know, it kind of had that same sort of vibe. And but I thought, yeah, I'm going to check out the album now, even though the single was alright. And when I stuck it on, like the first track, obviously, Till the Break of Dawn, came on, and I was like, okay, sounding good so far. Yeah, it's alright. And then it cuts into the rest of the tracks, and I think after that first track, the album just becomes a whole different album, in my opinion. I think the album definitely had, in my opinion, I think it was good that they released that single, because in my opinion, it's the weakest track on the album. That's just my opinion anyway. But it sets up perfectly for the rest of the album, because the rest of the album, my God, that it is absolutely fucking awesome. Like this album has been on repeat since I listened to it a couple of days ago, and I've just had it on repeat so much that the songs are just sticking in my mind. I'm started singing them at work. I've even shown my girlfriend. She's not massively into the heavier style of metalcore, but I showed her one of the tracks. I think it was the track. What was it? Leave the Pain Behind. I think it was that track. And when I showed her that track, she was quite impressed with it, and she started listening to that track a little bit more. But I've been listening to that track a lot, and I honestly think that the whole progression from the first track to the last is absolutely fantastic for Upon a Burning Body. Like, the great progression that The World Is My Enemy Now had a great progression behind it and some really meaty riffage. Whereas this one kind of feels like they've kept the meatiness, but they've brought a little bit of catchiness from Red, White, Green onto this album, and kind of given it a bit of a kind of like groovier, more fun-filled album rather than the last album, which I felt like Red Razor Wrists, for example, and I can't remember the name of the other tracks off the top of my head, but they felt a little bit more serious, that they were going for a bit more of an aggressive metalcore style, whereas Red, White, Green, I feel, was kind of like a bit of a more party, getting drunk, being proud Texan kind of album, whereas this one is a perfect match of the two. You've got the meaty riffage and the beefy riffage coming from this side of the album. But then you've got a kind of melodic side on there. Like, the cleans on this album is what has actually sold me a lot more, and I think it adds a bit more of a character and just a bit more to what Upon a Burning Body has already in its sound. You know what I mean. Anyway, but yeah, you've got some real great meaty riffage going on there. There's a lot of clean production on the guitars, but it still keeps that heavy, beefy side of the tone, but you can still hear what's going on. Very meaty riffs. I actually think this is a really thick sounding guitar, and some really cool riffage going on there. There's some really tight alternate picking. There's like some really interesting patterns going on there that create this like really heavy atmosphere on this album, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, this is the drummer's first album, because I think they got a new drummer, and I have to say he's done very, very well on this album. The drums are played very, very tight. They're quite loud and quite as if like they're cutting through the mix just right with that sound. We've got a meaty kick from the bass drum that fits in really well with the guitars and keeps the heaviness alive and well. But like when the melodic styles comes in, it creates this great atmosphere, and it's honestly what Upon a Burning Body's music is going to be. I think this is the Upon a Burning Body sound now. I think it's their sound. They've always had something going for. They had the party style. It kind of Red, White, and Green kind of reminded us a bit like had a bit of an Attila kind of vibe. But then Red Razor, I keep on calling it that. The World Is My Enemy Now has that kind of like serious metalcore kind of style to it, you know. But then you've got what they're called again? Yeah, well, sorry. Then you got Straight from the Barrio, which is kind of like a beautiful mash of the two, you know. Like what can I say? And vocally, I think Danny's vocals have improved so much. Like his harsh vocals, they've got a bit more emotion in them. Like, they were already filled with emotion on The World Is My Enemy Now, but it's as if there's something being unlocked a little bit more in his voice that you can feel every word that he's saying, and he's putting everything, heart and soul into the record, and you can just feel it all in all. His half screams are getting clearer, like as in like the starting to become just a clean voice, if you know what I mean. and I'm going to be getting to the cleans in a second. But like, they're just so well executed, and they're just so full of power and emotion. I think he's honestly becoming one of the best metalcore vocalists, and especially one of the probably the best vocalist on Sumerian Records, without a shadow of a doubt. He is a phenomenal vocalist, and obviously a great frontman from when I seen them live with who was it? It was Martyr Defiled and someone else, I can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, but the cleans is what sold it on this album. I think the cleans are very well, beautifully executed, and they fit in so goddamn perfectly well. I'm not kidding. Like, the sound, like, and just the like emotion being poured out in those cleans is just blown my mind how good it is. It adds to the catchiness, and it makes you want to listen to it more and more, and just in whole, the album is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. There's just some great tracks on here. I might as well also add the little acoustic track at the end, which is called it's hard to read the text on here, I might add. Look at that. Yeah, you try reading that shit. I might have to go on iTunes for this. Fucking hell. Oh, My Distorted Reflection. The acoustic elements in that track are very beautiful. Like, that is the perfect end of the album. I was expecting like a heavy, ridiculous breakdown at the end, like most metalcore and deathcore like has. But this has a very melodic vibe, and that ease at the end and that sophomore style with finishing on an acoustic track just completes it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sold on this album. This is absolutely fantastic. Tracks I'd recommend, well, I'm going to recommend 3 tracks in the description. I'd recommend you check out Already Broken. That's one of the best tracks. In fact, I think, looking at the track list, either Already Broken or Leave the Pain Behind is probably my favourite 2 tracks. I'm juggling between the 2 at the moment. I think they're both absolutely amazing tracks, and definitely the best tracks on this album. And for a 3rd track, I think I'm going to recommend... I'll recommend the title track, Straight from the Barrio. That is an awesome track as well. But I'll actually forget that. I'm going to name a 4th one as well. I'll leave in the description My Distorted Reflection. That's the acoustic one at the end, because that is just beautiful. That is just a beautiful end to the album. And honestly, I think this album is absolutely fantastic, and definitely Upon a Burning Body's best album so far. If you haven't checked out this album, or you haven't given it a chance, or even you're a little bit disappointed with Red, White, Green, or you were even disappointed a little bit with The World Is My Enemy Now. If you're a little disappointed with these albums, give this one a chance. This is seriously fucking awesome. Highly recommend it. Excuse me. I'm going to take a quick drink. But yeah, highly recommend this album. It's going to be making an appearance in my top albums for sure, because it's that good. For a score though, I think I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. It is that good. It is fucking awesome. I honestly cannot fault this album. It is amazing. But yeah, check out this album if you haven't already. Upon a Burning Body, if I can speak, Straight from the Barrio. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed the video. I'll see you until the next one, and remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.